Hello, I'm going to show you how to model each individual item in this scene and how to put them together and make your scene look beautiful like this. In this tutorial, I'll be focusing majorly on modeling and I will show you how I went about making the curtains. Let me just show you, these are the final scene look like. As always, the project file will be included in the Chisai vault. So do subscribe to Chisai vault. Before we start, this video is a bit long and it's long because I show you every detail step by step on making this scene. So this is a complete beginner tutorial, and if you're a complete beginner, don't be scared by the runtime of this video. Don't be scared by it. It's really straightforward. By the end of this video, you should be able to model this. The curtains might be a little tricky, so I might link some resources down below to help explain the curtains better if I didn't do justice to it in some areas that you might have questions with. Now, I'm going to add a cube. I'm going to set the X to 400 centimeters, then set the Y to about 100 centimeters, maybe even less, let's say 80 centimeters. So I'm going to move this up. This will serve as our desk, currently working on the desk. So from here, I'm going to add a cube. I'm going to set the X to 400 centimeters, then set the Y to about 100 centimeters, maybe even less, let's say 80 centimeters. So I'm going to move this up. This will serve as our desk, currently working on the desk. So from here, I'm going to add in intrusion. To do this, I'm going to press C on the keyboard to make it an editable mesh. Go to the face selection mode. T, I'm going to scale it in a little bit, not so much, just a little bit. KL, I'm going to add here. I'm going to add here. I'm going to add here. Then I'm going to add here. I'm eyeballing it because I want to show you that you don't have to be accurate to make a decent image. So I'm going to add one here. I'm going to click on this. I click it, then split. See, and I think I'm going to do the same here. Click on this, then split. We'll go to extrude this inside. We'll go to extrude this inward. Why I'm not saying the extrude happened because of these two splits here. So I'm going to hide them. Let me go back to my main cube, then move this inward as far as I want it to be. And I think I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah, I don't think it's a drawer. I think it's a locker. It just opens and closes. Here we just have a little insert, then it will be extruded inward. So I'm going to check it in so it will be here. I'm going to do the same thing here, or that I'm going to scale differently and move this out a little bit so I won't have a certain issue. From here, I'm going to enable my two outliers here. With this, I'm going to click on it, then scale everything down a little bit. Here, side, I'm going to do the same thing here. Or that I'm going to scale this one a little bit more and bring it down because it doesn't flush in properly. These two, I'm going to put them in a group, then add a thicken modifier or a cloth surface, put it inside, and increase the thickness the other direction, minus 3 centimeters. Our tables coming together well. From here, I'm going to add in a knob. Let's make it very simple. We're going to be a sphere. We're going to scale it down. Let me use the FFD modifier to make it a bit unique. I'm going to add in the FFD modifier. Then put the FFD modifier under this sphere, then fit to parent. Then I'm going to circle, and I'm going to the point selection mode, then rectangular select. I'm going to drag this down. I'm going to drag this up a little bit. Then from here, I'm going to drag this middle one a little bit so it will be pointy. Now I'm going to click on the sphere, go back into the edit mode, then scale this down. I'm going to move this to the center of this. Yeah, so now let me scale it down even more. Let me make it the center. Let me scale it down even more. Let me adjust the FFD a little bit more. Go into the point selection mode, then bring this out, bring this out. I don't want it to be symmetrical. I want it to be oblong in an unnatural way. So from here, I'm going to do control and duplicate this, then move this to this side here. Let me change my display from display to route shading width line. Now I can see it in this back and this and make it centralized. Now let's work on the leg. Work on the leg. I'm going to add a cylinder, model mode, scale it down. I'm going to move it up a little bit. Let me scale it down a little bit, move it down a little bit, then move to this side a little bit, then move this side a little bit. So the leg expands a little bit. So I'm going to go into the cylinder, then set the height segment to zip 1. Press here on my keyboard to make it an editable mesh. Go into the edit mode, then select this, then move to the side. Now to select, I'm using the number 0 on my keyboard, or you can just go here and click the rectangle selection. This I'm going to manually duplicate this. I'm going to go here and add an instance. So this will duplicate it. So the reason I'm doing that so that if I add a texture material to this, it will apply to the rest easily. I'm going to move this instance here to mirror it. Instead of mirroring it, I'll just duplicate it, rotate it by 180 degrees. Yeah, I'm going to duplicate it, adjust this here. So let me see. Here is our model. Now let's start framing this so that I know that I'll get my proportions right and everything. So I'm going to group this. Let me add in my camera, my Corona camera. I'm going to look into Corona, then adjust this here. For this product, I'm using Corona. Then I'm going to adjust this here. So let me see. This is about 30 mm focal length. Let me make it a portrait mode. So focus on the two Corona output 1080 by 1920 instead 24. So I'm going to make it 80 mm. This I'm going to have to adjust the proportions a little bit to make it suit what I want. I'll group the crossover and the two spheres. I'm going to group them together. I'm going to scale it in a little bit and move to the side a little bit. So now the 4 legs, I'm going to move it to the side a little bit. Then these two I'm going to move them inward. Then this two I'm going to move them inward. Alright, so this I'm going to go into the edit mode and bring it down. Now because all of them are instances, they just work perfectly. So I'm going to increase the scale of all of them. Now I'm going to select the top here, then scale it out even more so it will be thicker, but not so much. I click it, then scale it in a little bit. Now I'm going to bring this these two inwards, like around here. Yeah, this one. Then this one here, I'm going to click on it, take it up a little bit more. With this, let's add our floor. I'm going to add a plane. I'll go to model mode. Let me control A everything, then move everything up a little bit. The benefit of doing this is that now I can move this leg because legs are below floor level. Let me select everything and move everything up. So let's be above floor level. Then I can bring the plane down to 0, no? Then scale it, right? And I think that will work well. So now this is our table. Let me move our table down. Now I'm going to call this happy. All right. Now let's go move back into our camera. And I think our scene is coming together well already. Now let's start building our scene, which is I'm going to add a cube, then move the cube to the edge. Whenever you are doing corners of room, try your best to make the edge have like where the tile meets the wall. Don't just make the tile join with another edge like that. So I'm going to scale this down, move it to the side, then scale this up. I'm going to scale this up even more. Duplicate this, move this out a little bit more, scale this up, and move this. This will serve as the wall. I'm going to like to intersect a little bit. Let me move back into my scene. So now I can extend this. I want to like, and this coming together very well. I'm going to add in a disc. Move my disc into position. I'm going to rotate this disc by 90 degrees. I'm going to move it here. Then now I currently feel like the wall is too far from the desk. So I'm going to click on this, then click on the disc, then move it towards the edge. So it won't be too far away. Let's say like here. So now let me zoom in back. Now I'm going to move my disc into position. Let's say somewhere here. Then scale it up a little bit. Then move it down a little bit. Maybe move my camera in a little bit and make it a lot wider. 80 on like 50 mm. Yes, in a little bit. Then kill this. Adjust this. This will be the mirror glass itself. So I'm going to go into the edit mode. Now I'm going to add a loop cut and UL to select that loop cut, then D to extrude it out. Now I'm going to add a subdivision surface modifier, then put it under the subdivision surface modifier so that the edges will be sharp a little bit. I'm going to add a loop cut here, add a loop cut here, add a loop cut here. When I enable this here, will be sharp, the edge here will be sharp, and I'm going to add a loop cut here. We did our button our mirror. Now let's add a stool. I feel like it's stool just tie everything up together. Let me first add into my scene because the scene is already getting too messy. This is my table, this is my mirror, my table, this is my mirror, my floor, tile edge, TIL, then the wall. Let me work on this. I'm going to add a cylinder. Just a little bit tricky. Make it an editable mesh. So I'm going to go into the settings, then I'm going to pick this point and push it up very well. Then solo everything. Scale this to a reasonable extent. Let me increase it to where I feel is okay. Then to add less height segment. I'm not making it editable again. So I'm making an editable mesh. So I'm going to go into the settings, then I'm going to pick this point and push it up very well. Then KL. I'm going to click this UL, click on this, scale it up, move it up a little bit. This looks nice. From here, I'm going to do the same for the under. I'm going to take it down a little bit, UL this, and bring it in a little bit. The outside of the tip out here is so pointy. So I want to bring it down a little bit. I want it to look like breadbone. Take it up a little bit, and let me scale it in a little bit. So I want the edges to be sharp a little bit, so make it sharp a little bit here. Adding the legs. So I'm going to add a cylinder, then I'm going to scale it down, then increase the height. Now let me bring everything out so I will know the scale and proportion of it. So this, I'm going to move this up here a little bit. Then the cylinder, I'm going to bring the height down, then make it up, then bring the height down, then bring it up, and bring the height down. So let's see. So I'm going to move this here, solo it a little. This one, because of how tricky it is, I'm going to use the cloner. Set this to radial, then set this to 4. Now I'm going to click on my cloner, then pick this, then move this out a little to where it works out for me. So now why it's not following each other well, it's from this area here. Transform, I set the rotation to -10. With this, back into the view, I'm going to move the cloner into position. There, the cloner, scale down the radius from the edit mode side here a little bit. So I'm going to scale it down by 90%, then here, scale it down to 90% too. Let me make it even less. Click on it, then hold down shift. I can scale down 75, then here also 75. I should bring down the thickness a little bit. This is our cloner. The radius is 30 centimeters, so I can just add in a tube, then make the outer radius 30 centimeters. You have to be in same 25 centimeters. So I'm going to move the tube into place. It should flush it perfectly. Click the tube, then lower the height, but bigger, not too much. Come on. Go back into the camera. Click everything and group everything. I'm going to move it, rotate it, scale it up a little bit, move it out a little bit. I think the head should be way bigger. I'm going to click the head, go into edit mode, scale the head a lot bigger, not too much. Come out of the thing, so I'll see where is the gradients. To do that, I'm going to go into the edit mode and select this, then move it out a lot more. So this means that my radius will get skewed. To counteract this, I'll just increase this percentage. So I'm eyeballing this. This works so well. I'm going to click on this tube. I'm going to make it an editable mesh. Going to the face selection mode, select this face, click on scale, then scale it to match. Control A, move it a little bit. UL, go into the edge selection, select this edge, then dissolve it. I'm so happy with this. Back into the camera view. Click on L and adjust the account point till it looks roughly in the center. And I'm going to scale up this mirror. Okay, why it's not scaling up? Because now it's exactly in the center. I'm going to delete this, then click on the mirror, then add another subdivision. So it will automatically be at the center this time around. Scale it visually big. I would like to add a curtain here. Now to add a curtain, I'm going to add a plane. I'm going to create a plane. I'm going to rotate the plane. Let me adjust the axis again. Lower the amount of segments, both height segment and width segment. Press C on my keyboard, disable L. Then move these two to this side. So 0. Scale this entire thing down. Let me go back to the edit view. Let me adjust the axis again, right, to be at the right place. To interact with the wall. Yeah. So now I'm going to clone this using the cloner, but I'm going to clone it linearly, and I'm going to set it here to 0 and clone it on the z-axis. So minus z-axis. So minus, let's say 100. Okay. So from here, I'm going to go into the edit mode, then plane. Then I'm going to add some loop cuts. I'm going to add one here, one solo it, and one here. With this, I can click this two, then scale it to this side a little bit. Click this two, then scale it a bit to this side. This I can now array it very well. Let's array it to a couple of clones. Now with this I can now click on this and stretch this out, then click it down, then stretch it down. Maybe not too low like that. Let's say like here. Let me look at it. Let me unsolo it to know how deep here. So let's say like here. It's not good for curtains to touch the floor. Move everything forward a little bit. Number of clone 13. With that in mind. So I'm going to add the sphere. I'm going to move this sphere here. So this sphere will be our driving pin. It's similar to doing a rope simulation in Cinema 4D. We're going to run a cloth simulation. So I'm going to click on this, lower the segments to be very low. 3 segments. Yeah, so I'm going to move that around here. I'm going to use a clone. Linear 0 and it's 130. Then 10. Add a connect. Let's weld it. How we check that it's welded is by adding a subdivision. So if it's welded, it will pam here. If it's not welded, it will still be loose here. I don't know if you can see it. So it's welded. Now we can run our cloth simulation. So let's add a simulation cloth. Then here, simulation cloth, mix animation with pins. Then I'm working in Cinema 4D, I want to work with simulation. It's good thing to save your project. 24 June. From here, I'm going to add a simulation connector. I'll go into the connector, then increase the set radius enough that it find this, do live updates. So I set the set radius to 300. So when I play it, it will find this. Let's add a bit more looseness to it. The set radius is too much, so I'm going to reduce this into 200. Then a mouse connection to like 1. Yeah, I want it to droop. Add a simulate first. I'm going to add a wind. Right now, the wind is not see the direction of the wind. I'm going to rotate the wind by 180 degrees. I'm going to move it to this side. Up here, this will slow down. Let's create a wind, then rotate this side. Right now, the wind is not doing anything at all. This is the wind speed. I'm going to increase the turbulence, increase the frequency, add even more geometry. I'm going to add some surface to it. I'm going to move this to up here. This will slow down. Let's save my profile. So play. This is for baking. So let me lower this to 1 hour. Let's see. Now we have the wrinkles I really like. That the wrinkles I want. So now I'll make the video render. I'm going to lower the wing speed. From here, I make the camera a bit wider. So now the wing speed is a bit low. I'm going to go to the cloth. I'm going to go into dresser. So I'm going to play it here, then set initial state. Now have our cutting simulation. Let's bake this. Let's make this a higher resolution. Let me first save my project. From here, let's now model a physical material. Then open it up. Then go and import my reference. This is the reference image I'll be working with. So I'm going to show you how to make the product I'm going to be working with. The first thing first, I'm going to add a plane. Then in Corona, adding a physical material. Then open it up. Then go and import my reference. This is the reference image I'll be working with. So I'm going to put this into frame. The resolution of the reference image must match the plane we are working with. And here, the resolution of the reference image is 736 by 924. Just go here, plug in 736 by 924. We have the correct aspect ratio. I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees, then move back in the y-axis. Then we'll change it into the front view, then turn it from display to ground shading with lines. Then I'm going to move this up here. With this, I'm going to add in a spline pen. And let's draw out of spline. Click here and drag to add a curve, and click here and drag to add a curve. Click here and drag to add a curve. Then click here and drag to add a curve. Here, I'm going to make it sharp. Then I'm going to add one last curve here. So now let's straighten out something. In the image that we are in the point select mode, I'm going to use the spline pen to select it. I'm going to adjust the gizmos. Yes, I'm going to adjust this. Control, drag it here, then shift to break it apart. All right, same thing with here. Shift to move it in a little, shift to move it in a little. Let me move this one out a little bit. So I'm going to keep on adjusting the spline till I get it to look natural. Let me use the move tool. I'm going to click this, then scale it down to 0 to make it straight as I can make it. All right, same thing with this and this, down to 0 to make it sure that I can make it. All right, and same thing with this and this. I'm going to scale this on the y-axis 0. I'm going to add one more spline. Make sure that the spline here is selected to where I think the center of this is. Then drag this down. This has a flat top. Account for that. So clicking on the spline, I'm going to adjust using the shift key. From here, I'm going to use the move tool, then move this into place. I'm going to use the lathe tool. I'm going to duplicate this, then drag each spline under each lathe. From there, I'm going back to the main view. Then we don't need this anymore. So I'm going to adjust the splines a little bit in this place. Let's start with the cap. I'm going to move it to be very close, but don't let it touch, because if you touch, everything goes black. It's very close. Same thing I'm going to do with the bottom. I'm going to click on the bottom they are touching. So it's black. I'm going to move it out a little bit. Let me first check everything out to see if everything is looking good. Let me go into the lines. I think I like this. Increase the angle in the adaptive section so that we have less polygons around the bends here. I don't want them to be too much. So let's say 20. Go ahead to connect and delete. I'm going to do that by right clicking the lathe to where it says connect and delete. I'm back to recording. So I'm going to loop select all these points, right click, then collapse. It will collapse into a point. So from here, I'm going to do the same thing for the top lathe. Press C on the keyboard, then go into the point selection mode, then this circular ring, loop selected, right click, then collapse. From here, I'm going to add in my helix. I'm going to put my object under my cloth surface. So on the cloth surface, then add a thickness of -3 cm. Then I'll add a bevel deformer. The bevel deformer and the cloth surface in a group, like these two. Then hold down Alt G to group them. Now the bevel will bevel the edges. That is edges like this. It's to bevel this edge. I'm going to work on these also. I'm going to click on the lathe, then go to tools, axis, center to axis. Now holding down Alt, I'm going to add the cloth surface as the parent. Now I'm going to move it into place. So with this, I'm going to scale it down a little bit, but it flushes in very well. Set the thickness to -3 cm. Surface and here is the cloner. So for the hangers, I'm going to duplicate them together, making sure I click on two of them together and make it all right. So this is going to get interesting. So at this point now, I'll start staging my scene. Here's the cloth surface, and here is the cloner. So for the hangers, I'm going to duplicate them together, making sure I click on two of them together and making sure I'm at the first frame. Now that I've duplicated them, I'm going to click on the two of them, then move them to the right hand side. To go into the camera view, then change my output settings to 1920 by 1080. For the second composition, I'm going to move the product to this side. Increase the wind speed to 130, then click on both of these cloth surfaces, going to the cache, click one of them. I'm going to click one, then cache scene. This will cache everything. This is now when I hit play, I should have this. I go to the very first frame, adjust this, click on this, then click on this, move it forward a bit just to help it match composition. Move it somewhere around here. I'm going to click on the table, right click it, simulation, and click on collider. This will add collision to the simulation. So now I added a bit of wind. Now I'm going to add a bit of turbulence. Simulation versus then turbulence. Put it together near the wind. Increase the scale. I want the scale to be just a bit big. Set the strength to 1000. Then for this, I'm going to go here, add the collider to everything under it. Like drag the collider and add it to everything under it. Cache again. Cache the cache again. To lower the turbulence to 300. Then I'm going to clear all cache, then cache the cache again. Also add the collider to more things here. Then cache again. Go back to the first frame, then move the cloner up forward, then move the actual thing back just to have a bit of clear. But the turbulence is it to 100. Click it, then that again. Off turbulence. I'll start from here, going to clock, then dresser, click on set initial state to this to move this forward a little bit, add turbulence, clear all case, then start again. I'm going to start setting up my camera animation and staging myself. I want the animation to start from a wide angle perspective, then zoom in slowly, then to cut into a different shot. To begin with the staging of this, set my FPS to 24 frames per second, set the frame rate to 200. Now run the simulations again. Click on the cloth surface, then run the simulation again. This is two. This is the wall, floor, let's call it set. This is the set, this is the mirror, this is the table, tablet. Everything looks neat. So now let me arrange myself. So this is the product. This is everything concerning the cloth simulation. This is two. This is the wall, floor, let's call it set. This is the set, this is the mirror, this is the table, tablet. Everything looks neat. Now let's talk about our camera. So this camera one, now that camera. So